I had definitely been stalling with watching the SpongeBob SquarePants movie because I never really watched SpongeBob growing up. It was very, very popular when I was a preteen and teenager, and I've seen it, of course, but I never really got into it. But this year, I have watched quite a few films based on shows that I've never seen, for example, Wizards of Waverly Place, and loved them. I'm a big fan of animation in general, so I thought, okay, fine, let's give this a go. I loved it. I thought this was fabulous. This was released in 2004. It's directed by Steven Hillenburg, and it's written by Hillenburg and Tim Hill, Derek Dryman, Kent Osborne, Aaron Springer, and Paul Tibbett, with a voice cast including Tom Kenny, Clancy Brown, Rodger Bumpass, and various others. We do have a brilliant voice cast there. And obviously it is worth bearing in mind my perspective. Not only did I not really ever fall in love with SpongeBob, but I haven't seen a tremendous amount. In fact, to be honest, I don't know how many full episodes I've actually seen. Over the years, I've seen many, many clips, but in terms of full stories, probably not that many. So your perspective may be very different from mine. I hope you still love it if you are a big SpongeBob fan, but I would love to know what you think. And my main challenge was to see if I enjoyed it enough to want to watch the TV show. And honestly, I don't know. Maybe. But certainly I did enjoy this one. SpongeBob is upset that he didn't get the manager position at the new Krabby Patty, but he didn't have too long to be upset because he's actually starting a new adventure as he and Patrick go in search of King Neptune's stolen crown. I also need to point out, of course, that I was well aware of SpongeBob as a character. I know who Patrick is. I'm aware of Krabby Patties. So these elements weren't completely brand new to me. I don't know if you watched this having never even heard of SpongeBob, you'd enjoy it as much. I do think a tiny bit of background knowledge is beneficial, but I don't know if that's certainly the case. I will be honest, I wasn't too invested in the specifics. I didn't really care if or when or how they found the crown. However, the film is still really good fun. The characters are great. And honestly, I actually think I used to not like SpongeBob very much. I kind of found the character to be a little bit irritating if I'm remembering how I would respond to the episodes correctly. And I thought he was great here. I really, really liked him. I took to the character very, very quickly. I do think here the character was actually really, really likeable, which I wasn't expecting. The film itself is also quite funny. Not laugh out loud funny, but definitely amusing. And it's very, very creative. So engaging, even at those times when I wasn't really that interested in how the narrative was developing. The development is fine. I just wasn't emotionally invested. But even in those moments, I was engaged because the characters are great. There are, as I said, some aspects that are quite amusing. The animation is fabulous, of course. Gorgeous colours, great character designs, nice occasional use of live action. It's not that frequent, but it does happen occasionally, which I hadn't expected and thoroughly enjoyed. Great voice acting, and as I said, at the end of the day, the narrative is fine, no issues at all, and the pacing is good. It just wasn't something for which I really emotionally cared. But I did enjoy it. I will be watching the next SpongeBob film. I have no idea what it's about. I haven't looked ahead at all, but I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, you might have a different perspective. As I said, if you're a big SpongeBob fan, you will have very different expectations. But from my perspective, I rather enjoyed it. And if, like me, you were never really that bothered about SpongeBob growing up, give it a go. You might actually find it to be a really pleasant experience. Looking forward to the next one. Very happy to recommend the SpongeBob SquarePants movie.